it is.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
The first game, looking at Parramatta Eels versus the Melbourne Storm. So the line in this one is 2.5 points. The game is being played here in Combank. It's only 5 minutes away from me, but get fucked if you see me there. Parramatta at home against Melbourne on the road. There's a couple key things that a lot of people already know. One, Parramatta has an excellent record against Melbourne. They've won, I think, their last 4 games, actually. Parramatta have won their last 4 games against the Melbourne Storm. But we also know that Melbourne Storm are the best team in round one. They actually haven't lost a round one game, I think, since 2003. So getting close to 20 years in a row where they've won in round one. So their off seasons are probably harder than any other team. So I'm sure they're going to be primed for this one. Another thing, if you're looking at lineups, both teams have seen a stack of changes in comparison to the team that they had last year. Parramatta obviously lost a lot of good players. Reid Marnie's gone. He's a big out. Papali'i's gone to the Tigers. So very big holes for 2 very important players for their squad last year. Melbourne has lost a lot of their forwards. Pappenhausen is still out. But at the same time, let's be honest, a lot of those forwards last year were shit. The Bromwich brothers, they're over the hill chasing money. Felice Kafusi, the worse he got at rugby league, the dirtier he got, so more head slams and high tackles. So I don't feel like Melbourne are actually losing too much, despite the big names that they're missing. So deservedly so, they come into this game as favourites. $1.71 head-to-head right now. The line is only 2.5 points. But which way am I leaning? Firstly, look at, actually, before I tell you that, we spoke about Melbourne having an excellent record at home, right? They probably haven't lost at home in round one. Melbourne hasn't lost in round one for a fucking long time. But you know what Parramatta's done? In the last 10 years, Parramatta has won 8 of its last 10 games. So I'm not 100% sure which way I'm leaning on this, but I think Luke might have an opinion on this one. Luke, Parramatta versus Melbourne.
Did we coordinate jerseys, by the way?
Yes, we're fucking wearing the jerseys, lad.
Happy Teamless Tuesday.
Teamless Tuesday, baby.
I'm liking Para here. I think Para with the start. I know the history. I know the records, the plus 2.5, and the Melbourne Storm under Bellamy. I think this is the year where the drought gets broken. I think Melbourne without Pappenhausen is pretty much cancelling out the Para players they're missing out in my eyes. And I think on paper both teams are quality, but I think Para at home. I like the plus 2.5. That'd be something I'll be taking.
Ooh. So Luke's put his hand up to take this one. Now, keeping in mind, for the last year or so, we've been betting on every single game. This is how
every game.
We've been too honest. We haven't been line shopping, nothing like that. There are other people out there who do a very similar show. Sometimes they end up with one bet from 8 games, and then they preach that they got a sweep. But we're not about that life. I think we're committing to bet on at least 4 of these. We'll tell you which way we're leaning, when we'll tell you when we're betting. But we're not fucking cowards, right? You everyday punters, wearing rugby league uniforms on a Tuesday evening, doing a podcast where we share everything for absolutely free. So we're cut from a different cloth. So Luke's taken Parramatta plus 2.5. I'm personally not leaning either way on this one because it's too difficult to me, let's be honest. But a play that I do really like on this one is the under 41.5 points. So last year in round one, despite the game speeding up and opening up with all the rule changes and shit like that, I think 7 out of the 8 games went under 41 points. Something ridiculous like that. There was a whole fucking shitload of low-scoring games.
Yeah.
And in a lot of the games with Parramatta versus Melbourne, especially when the game's here in Sydney, it's low-scoring as fuck. So there's been quite a few changes in the team. Might be a little bit clunky. Could be a little bit grindy out there. So I do like the under 41.5 in this one. What do you reckon about that, Luke? Am I off my tree or...?
No, it's a good shout. I think when you think about both teams, as I just said, are missing players, so they're not going to be firing on all cylinders. Combinations, first round of the season. I like it.
Beautiful.
Here it is. Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.